Welcome back to Home Theater Review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Marantz Cinema 60 8K AVR. The Marantz Cinema 60 receiver is a top-of-the-line audio and video receiver that delivers exceptional performance and flexibility for home theater enthusiasts. With this impressive feature set and sleek design, this receiver is a great addition to any entertainment system. One of the standout features of the Marantz Cinema 60 receiver is its advanced processing capabilities. With HDMI 2.1 on board, the Cinema 60 supports ARC and eARC, and it features 8K resolution and 8K upscaling, which allows you to upscale 1080p and 4K content to 8K resolution. This means you can enjoy your favorite movies and TV shows with stunning clarity and detail. Additionally, the receiver supports all of the latest audio and video formats including Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, IMAX Enhanced, HDR10+, Auto Low Latency Mode, HLG, and Dolby Vision. The Marantz Cinema 60 receiver also offers exceptional connectivity options. It features 6 HDMI inputs and 2 HDMI outputs, which means you can easily connect all your devices such as a TV, a gaming console, and a Blu-ray player without having to constantly switch cables. 3 of the HDMI inputs support 4K 120, while the other 3 support 8K, and both HDMI outs support 8K. It also has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, allowing you to stream content wirelessly from your smartphone or tablet with HEOS and AirPlay, and supports streaming services like Spotify and Pandora, just to name a few. In terms of sound quality, the Marantz Cinema 60 receiver does not disappoint. It delivers rich, full-bodied sound with excellent detail and clarity. Its 7-channel amplification system can deliver up to 100 watts per channel, 2 channels driven into 8 ohms, and 140 watts per channel, 2 channels driven into 6 ohms, with 70% guarantee, ensuring that even the most demanding audio tracks are played with precision and power. The receiver also includes Odyssey Multi-EQ XT room calibration technology, which optimizes the sound for your room's unique acoustics. The Marantz Cinema 60 receiver's user interface is intuitive and easy to use, thanks to its large, full-color display and simple remote control. The receiver also includes built-in voice control, allowing you to control your entertainment system using your voice with Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, or Apple Siri. Not much to say here. While I don't have an 8K display to test HDMI 2.1 features with, like eARC, 4K 120, and 8K 60, the video did not disappoint. 4K HDR looked pristine and crispy for movies, gaming, and streaming, and integrated well with my HD Fury 4K Diva. The Cinema 60 has one of, if not the best setup and walkthrough GUI that I've ever seen. A lot of thought went into making sure the end user has the simplest setup experience. The setup GUI has that Apple-like feel and experience, kind of like when you're setting up an iPhone for the first time. It's that good, and I hope more AVR companies adopt a similar GUI. Now, I didn't spend a lot of time in the menus except to set up the speaker configuration I was using, which was 5-bit layer speakers consisting of Arundel 1723 monitors for my LCR, 2 Arundel 1961 towers for my surrounds, 2 Polk in-ceiling speakers, an SBS PB4000 in the rear, and a legacy SBS cylinder sub up front for a 5.2.2 configuration. I'm also using all pre-outs with external amplification. Now, if you're a seasoned home theater veteran, then setup is going to be a breeze. If you're completely new to home theater or you've never set up a receiver before, setting up the Cinema 60 is going to be easy peasy as well, thanks to its excellent GUI setup walkthrough. Before I ran Odyssey, I wanted to see how the receiver sounded without any processing. I watched various types of content from YouTube to Disney Plus to Amazon Prime to uncompressed 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray rips on my Plex server using my NVIDIA Shield. And the Cinema 60 has a very neutral sound which I enjoyed very much and pairs well with my Arundel speakers, which also have a very neutral sound. However, upon first listenings with the Cinema 60, the SPL was just far too low to really hear any type of dynamics or separation, especially in the bass. Checking the audio levels in the setup menu revealed that all channels were set to 0, which should be referenced, so I was surprised that everything sounded so underwhelming at first. But reference is going to differ depending on your room and acoustic properties. But even turning up the volume dial closer to reference at -10 dB, it didn't improve the sound quality much, at least to what I'm used to and what I like. so it was time to engage Odyssey room correction. This is probably the weakest link in the Cinema 60's armor, at least for me, and I'll delve into why a little later in the review. If you've used Odyssey before, not much has changed. You set up the calibration mic on a traditional tripod or the included cardboard tripod. I use my own tripod. And then you plug the mic into the front of the receiver, and the receiver automatically detects the mic and brings up the Odyssey calibration screen. From there, if you've set up your speaker configuration correctly, all that's left is to hit start, and the Cinema 60 will go through its 8 speaker locations for calibrating your setup. Since I'm the only one who uses my theater, I didn't move the mic into 8 different positions. I kept it in the main listening position while slightly moving the mic around in the seat, just so that Odyssey had a little more data to work with. Immediately after running room correction, I quickly put on my go-to demos. I know how awesome this movie sounds on my Anthem MRX 720, so I was curious to see how it sounded with Odyssey engaged.
First to the T!
First to the A!
Odyssey definitely improved detail and separation while still maintaining that very neutral sound. However, SPL levels still sounded well below what this scene is supposed to sound like. And again, the bass was probably the most obvious and noticeably lacking. So, next demo I like to use is Jurassic World Dominion, the scene where Bryce Dallas Howard gets stuck in a tree after ejecting from a plane. When she crawls into the water and the dinosaur roars over the water, the higher frequencies will let you know just how dynamic your speakers are and how they handle those higher frequencies. Now, this scene definitely sounded better after running Odyssey, but the higher frequencies don't sound as loud and enveloping like I know it should sound. Now, granted, I have the same issue with this scene with Anthem Arc Genesis, so clearly both room correction software are limiting the higher frequencies at higher SPL levels. Which makes sense, as I have some acoustical issues in my theater in the higher frequency range. However, I feel Arc Genesis just does a better job here. And if I want, I can go back into Arc Genesis software and customize those corrections further. The last test scene I watched is the opening scene from Moonfall. And as horrible as this movie is, the audio is top notch, and the opening scene has some great dynamics and incredible audio effects in every channel, with some of the deepest bass you'll hear when the destructive AI makes its first appearance.
I would like to thank you for spending your honeymoon in space with us.
It was either space or Italy. Italy doesn't beat this view.
Marcus! Help me! I'm losing air! I'm losing air! Brian!
This scene probably sounded the best of the three. However, the same theme was present here: Odyssey and SPL levels. When the AI makes its first appearance, there's this static radio sound that envelops you from every channel, and when it crashes into the spaceship, there's debris and metal that explodes with some extreme deep bass notes. While it sounded good, it wasn't great. everything just sounded like it was being limited and toned down. Again, this is probably Odyssey correcting the issues in my room and setting frequency levels accordingly. But again, Arc Genesis handles this much better. Now, it's worth noting that with Arc Genesis, once it finishes its room correction, I have the option to go back into the software and make changes to those target curves. With Odyssey, it doesn't give me that option, at least not on the receiver. There is an Odyssey app that you can download, and from what I understand, allows you to do some custom curves and adjust the room correction to your liking. But the app is $20 and the Cinema 60 is a review unit, so it didn't make sense to pay for an app that I would only use once. But it's nice to know that you're not stuck with whatever corrections Odyssey makes to your room if you don't like how it sounds. Something else I'd like to add is, as good as the Cinema 60 sounds, once you dial in Odyssey, I still feel the experience could have been more enveloping, and this is because the Cinema 60 only has support for 7 channels, both internally and if you're using pre-outs. Now, I've been running a 7.2.4 setup for years, so I know how enveloping and expansive certain movies can sound with the 7.2.4 setup. I get that this is Marantz's entry-level Cinema Series receiver priced at only $1,700, and that being said, at that price point, I would have liked to see Marantz expand the pre-out section to support 11 channels. A max of 7 channels just wasn't enough for me when listening to movies that really take advantage of more channels and surround sound objects. Those big blockbuster movies like Ready Player One and Jurassic World just didn't have the same weight and gravitas that I'm used to when watching them on my 7.2.4 Anthem MRX 720 receiver. But if you mount your Atmos speakers in the correct locations in your space, and dial in your SPL and bass levels after Odyssey is run, you can still get a very good enjoyable experience and enjoy some good object-based audio placement while listening to your favorite movies. And with its neutral sound, the Cinema 60 should be a great fit for everyone no matter what type of content you're watching. Overall, the Marantz Cinema 60 receiver is an outstanding choice for home theater enthusiasts who demand the very best in audio and video. Just make sure you set aside some extra time to dial in your settings with Odyssey room correction. Alright, well that's our review of the Marantz Cinema 60 AK AVR. Why don't you go ahead and let us know down in the comments what your experience is with the Marantz Cinema 60. Do you have one? And what are your thoughts? Make sure you guys like and share this video and subscribe so you don't miss any more product reviews like this one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.